Today is December 10th, and we're talking about the mind. Our minds are like a field, and whatever we plant in the field will grow. If you plant negative and discouraging thoughts, you will become a negative and discouraged person. Of course, this is obvious. There's a saying that my mind is like a field. There's a poem like that. I forget how it goes. Mind is like a field, whatever you plant will grow. So the mind is very powerful, probably more powerful than we realize, because if we realized fully how powerful it was, we wouldn't plant any negative thoughts. Now, the interesting thing about this thought for today is that sometimes thoughts plant themselves. Whoa, and where did that thought come from? And sometimes we don't realize, number one, that we can pull out those thoughts, we can weed out those thoughts. And number two, that we can plant other thoughts. And sometimes we do an exercise in some of our workshops where we ask devotees to think of an elephant. And we say, did anyone think of a purple elephant with pink polka dots? And on rare occasions, someone says yes, because they saw a cartoon of such an elephant. But everyone else says, I saw a gray brownish elephant. And I said, well, why did you think of that? I said, because that's what elephants are like. So we compare that to a thought that just shows up. It's a thought that shows up is a conditioned thought, something that we're used to thinking of, or something we experienced. So the thought just shows up. So the elephant, the brown or gray elephant, is like the conditioned thought. Then I said, well, let's create our own elephant, a pink elephant, purple polka dots, a New York Yankees hat, Ray-Ban sunglasses, purple Converse tennis shoes, 2 pairs, it's got 4 legs. Like that, gold chain. So we create this elephant. And no one has difficulty creating it. And we say, well, what does that mean? That means we created an elephant that didn't exist. That means we thought against our conditioning. So we created something that doesn't exist, something new. What does that mean? Well, my conditioning is I can't do this, I'm not good at this, that, and the next thing. And if those conditioned ways of thinking are not getting us to where we want to go, or not inspiring us, then we need to think, or learn to think in ways that inspire us. Like Prabhupada encouraged us, no, you can do that. I'm thinking, I can't. So a better thought is, well, at least let me try. Let's see what happens. Or like I was saying yesterday, let me try and see what happens. If I fail, it's not a problem. That's a thought that can help us become more successful personally and in our service. But if our thought is, well, I'm not good at this, then I'm not going to try. Or what's the use of trying? I always fail. That kind of thinking, that's a conditioned thought. So that's the gray elephant thought. So we need to think of the pink. Need to think more of the purple elephant with the pink polka dot thought of, well, this is what my spiritual master wants. This is what Srila Prabhupada wants. So let me try. Let me have more confidence that it can be done. It is possible. Let me think of ways it can be done. Put in new thoughts, thoughts which are empowering, thoughts which are aligned with what we want to achieve, especially thoughts which are aligned with our philosophy, with our beliefs, with our values. Because oftentimes we think in ways contrary to our philosophy. We don't believe what we believe. We don't even have faith always that the holy name can uplift and purify me. We need to choose our thoughts carefully, because whatever we plant in our mind is going to grow. The last thought here is the mind's interesting, the way it functions, is because whatever you plant in it, it will accept. It doesn't analyze if it's right or wrong. Just if you plant a thought, it will accept that thought, and it will grow whatever kind of plant that thought grows. So even if you, like sometimes we see people, they're very qualified, but they don't think they are. They think they're not smart. So they plant thoughts that I'm not smart, I'm not qualified, and they don't do well. And some people aren't that qualified, and they plant thoughts that, I can do this. And they get a lot of enthusiasm to try. And often they're very successful just because they have confidence to try, even though they're not as qualified as someone else who lacks confidence. So the mind doesn't analyze it. It just acts on the thought you plant. Hare Krishna.